My parents falsely accused my brother of being a creep and it's really affecting him. My brother is 15, my sister is 17, and I'm 23F. This is really stupid and it shouldn't have happened, but it did. Now I just want advice on how to make it better. Also, this is the story my brother told me as I wasn't there. He was in his room playing on his phone, minding his own business. He got up to take out the trash. He came back to lay down in his bed. As he was laying down, he noticed their dog walking out of his room. He ignored it. Later on, his sister 17 noticed clothes were missing. She went looking for it and found it in my brother's room. The problem was that it was wet and slimy. She immediately told our parents and they thought the worse. My dad, mom, and brother argued about it. Rude things were said. Apparently mom said I knew you were weird but not this weird. My dad said I raised a predator. In the end, my parents asked me to pick him up and let him stay with me for a couple of days. When I picked him up, he didn't say anything and just sat in silence. He spent the entire time in the room he was staying in. He only came out for dinner. He skipped breakfast and lunch. His eyes were always red when he came out, so I assume he was crying. I've never seen him cry. Most of the time when he's upset he just has a stone face, so what they said must have got to him. Finally, at the end of the week, his parents called me and said they wanted to talk to him, so they came over. Before they came over, I tried to talk to him, but he ignored me. When parents came, they apologized to him. Over the week they noticed more of sister clothes in his room until one day my dad caught the dog with my sister clothes. My brother just said okay and went home. I tried to ask my parents if he could stay longer, but they said that wouldn't be necessary. Later on, I got a call asking me what did he do over my house because he's just been in his room all day at their house. Is there anything I can do to help him feel better? Advice would be greatly unappreciated. Edit little update. Good news. He can stay with me until Sunday. I had to lie a little to parents to get him to come. I told them he should get out the house because he spends most of his day sitting in one spot with online school. They didn't believe me at first, but I said it would be a chance to get him out his room. They finally agreed. He was about to go to sleep, so I came just in time. I think the plan right now is to just spend time with him this week. I'm broke, so it's gonna be mostly home stuff. I tried to talk to him on the car ride. I asked him if he's okay. He said he's fine, and we had a little conversation about his school. So at least he's talking now. He's in the spare room, so everything is okay right now. Final update. God, your parents are something else. So they are convinced that he's a pervert, and are clearly wrong about that in the first place, but then they make him stay with you? Another one of his sisters? I don't know your family, but it would seem to me like they have more problems with him than just that. And that's just awful. He's 15. He doesn't deserve any of this abusive crap. I really hope he starts responding to your texts soon. Maybe you could take him out to do some fun things? To show him you know he's not like that? I don't know. It's a really horrible situation. Your parents broke your brother and accused him of things they can't walk back. I would get him a therapist ASAP. Your parents need to apologize to your brother profusely. Beyond that, I sadly have no other advice to offer. I can understand why he's upset. The more I think about this, it really concerns me. This is something that could drive someone to self-harm or suicide. This age of puberty is so difficult. You really need to make sure he's okay. Does "I knew you were weird but not this weird" stick out to anyone else? I think the sister can be forgiven for her erection, though she absolutely owes the brother an apology, but the parents need to be closely examined here for more than just in-the-moment shitty behavior. Look, I hope I'm wrong, but your brother sounds like he needs to be on suicide watch. Your parents are the worst kind of assholes. Your brother deserves more than a load of shit apology. I think your parents may have lost your brother and he will keep distancing himself from now on. And if I'm honest, I would do the same in his position. Your parents have hurt him in the worst way possible and a simple "whoopsie, my bad" won't change this. The relationship between your parents and your brother can only improve when your parents are truly sorry for what they did. Your parents are assholes. They didn't even give him a chance to defend himself. I hope he moves on from all this and has nothing to do with them going forward. Maybe some outside perspective like counseling would be great for your brother, if not the whole family. Right now your parents alienated him with false accusations. The trust is broken, and he's at an age where that's really important. Try to be there as much as possible if your brother wants to open up. Later on I got a call asking me what did he do over my house because he's just been in his room all day at their house. This is fucking infuriating. How can they be this oblivious? I honestly don't even have any advice other than to get this poor kid therapy. Your parents are so awful, holy moly. This might seem obvious, but has anyone said to him you're not a creep, and you did nothing wrong? If not, he really needs to hear that. Go over there and tell him yourself. Good work of your parents creating an angry man. I remember my own father who told me as a 12-year-old that he would beat me to death if I ever touched my sister after he watched a Dutroux documentary. I was a kid and did not even know what sex was. It was war after that. Old man is now weak and not so tough in my face. Oof, having the people you value and look up to in your life tell you that you're a detestable person can be really tough. There's no going back though. The only thing that can help is that he realizes that his parents are not perfect. And that their opinion isn't as big of a deal as he once thought it was, so it doesn't really matter what they think of him, only what he knows and thinks of himself matters most. And that's a lot of growing up in a very little amount of time. Your brother sounds like he's exhibiting behavior indicating he's at risk for suicide. Especially since he probably doesn't feel like he has anyone he can trust anymore. What they did was abusive. They jumped to a false conclusion, called him a pervert, and threw him out of the house. Family therapy is needed ASAP. Your apology should be as loud as the disrespect was. Tell your parents that. Wow, your parents are assholes. No wonder your brother is shutting down. I'd do the same. Get your brother away of those pieces of shit. That's how you traumatize a boy and lead him into depression and worse. Who can you trust if even your parents are like that? How can you trust your mother who said that she always thought that you're weird, and a father who called you, pretty much, a sexual offender, rapist, etc.? I knew you were weird but not this weird, will stick in his head. That isn't the result of this specific situation. Your mother has been harboring some sort of disdain against your brother, and now he knows it. Therapy isn't out of the question after this. In fact, I'd recommend it. You might want to check that last line there, dude. Advice would be greatly unappreciated. Your parents are stupid. You need to ask your brother if he wants to stay with you. I would never forgive my parents or my sister if they did something like that to me. I think her parents have only had sex 3 times. How do you mistake dog drool for semen? OP should confront your parents about what they said. She knew he was a creep and he's a predator. And her brother needs a therapist like years ago. I'd wager they've been treating him like shit for a while. Drive over there. Tell him to pack up and come stay with you. Most importantly, let him know it's being done so he can be away from your parents. And assure him that you won't bother or try to talk to him till he is ready. Take him home and let him deal with his angst. He is a teen. It will be over. Better if he doesn't see them while sorting it out. Dog slobber smells. I'm inclined to believe they did this on purpose. Your brother's reaction makes me think this isn't the first time he's been accused of something he didn't do. I can't be positive, of course, but this all just seems too bizarre to be a misunderstanding. This damage won't be undone quickly or easily. Try to be there for him as much as possible and remind your parents that this is really shitty treatment accusation against a 15-year-old. his own parents calling him weird and a predator, accusing him of the worst with his own sister. Unforgivable, IMO.